Alright, so let's take a look at this problem number 6. Now we have the basic sine curve for your reference. Whoa! For your reference over here. Um, the period is always 2 pi divided by the coefficient in front of x. In this case, the coefficient in front of x is 1/2. To divide by 1/2 is the same as to multiply by 2. So instead of dividing by 2, you actually multiply by 2, and the period is a horizontal stretch. Instead of this period, this cycle taking a length of 2 pi to complete one cycle, it'll now do it in a length of 4 pi. The amplitude is the coefficient in front of the sine or cosine. Both of these will always be positive. The center line is what you add or subtract to this, and it's always a line. It's always y equals, and in this case it's y equals 0. So on 0 to 2 pi, if we're stretching this, we're going to lose one of these. We've only got 2 places on 0 to 2 pi where the basic one intersects the center line. And if you stretch this period, if you stretch this to where on 0 to 2 pi, it's only going to have one of them. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's take this x over 2 plus pi over 4. And we know that if we replace that with 0, we'd be on the center line. So let's solve this for x. If we subtract the pi over 4 from each side, if we multiply each side by 2, if we reduce that fraction, negative pi over 2. But negative pi over 2 is smaller than 0, so I don't want that one. Let's find the next one, because see, not only did this stretch, the plus 4 was also a shift to the left. So it went to the left of 0. Let's look at the next place that crosses at pi. Actually, let's keep this in mind, this negative pi over 2. It crossed at 0. The next time it'll cross, it will be at pi. If we solve this equation, if we replace this x over 2 plus pi over 4 with pi, we know the sine of pi is 0. So let's solve this for x so that will be 0. So if we subtract pi over 4 from each side, pi minus pi over 4 is 3 pi over 4. If I multiply by 2, then when the 2 divided by 4, the factor of 2 will cancel here, and I'll have 3 pi over 2. Now 3 pi over 2 is bigger than 0, and it is smaller than 2 pi. And the jump from negative pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2 was 2 pi, right? Because if you add 2 pi to that, 4 minus 1 is 3. But so if I add the next one, if I add 4 to this, 7 pi over 2, well, 4 over 2 is 7 pi over 2. I've already gone past my 2 pi. So it's exactly as I predicted, that this horizontal stretch, and if you're going to lose some of these points where you intersect the center line if you keep your interval from 0 to 2 pi. Now, if we describe the infinitely over the entire domain, describe where it intersects the center line, we've got 3 pi over 2 plus, well, it does it at half the period. It does it at every 2 pi. So plus 2 pi n, where n is 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, and so on. And that will list them all from negative infinity to positive infinity. If you create a table and plug in different values for n of negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, you'll see that 3 pi over 2 is the only one that's between these two values of 0 and 2 pi. Hope that helps, and I'll talk to you later.